I had like people making fun of it because we do multiple of these podcasts in one sitting because we have jobs. Yeah.
Got stuff to do.
Yeah, so that's why like the first 3 episodes are in the same clothes and these next 3 will both be in these. But
next 3, are we filming 4?
Let's film 4.
Okay.
But I was getting a hard time at work. People are like, "You're always in the same clothes." And like I was like, "Yeah, well, because they were just giving me a hard time though."
Yeah. I mean, whatever. My prep is not very high. So.
I actually got this shirt from someone at work. This is BS.
I was given this shirt by my friend Lizzie.
Shout out Lizzie.
Yes.
I'm actually, yeah. So the topic today is, it's going to be very broad, obviously. It's selfishness. And it's kind of like how, especially in our society, how people are selfish, and but we're supposed to be. So it was a good topic. We were like, our minds were racing when we were texting about it. But basically, selfishness, and where can the line be drawn? What is too selfish, and then what is where you're not being selfish enough?
And I mean, I think it just changes on a day-to-day basis, and it all depends on the situation. But the way that I think about it is there's 2 ways to be selfish. There's like active selfishness, which is making a conscious choice to do something that you either know is going to hurt somebody else, or to not do something like when you know you should.
Explain. I think I understand what she's saying, but I would like her. Not everyone gets Samantha like me.
Well, I just mean, when I say it's active and making a choice, it's like you thought about it and you know that you could do this and you should do this because that person, you know what I mean?
Like
or
someone's
whatever
like,
it is.
someone's like sick or something in the hospital and you should go visit them, but you don't.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
selfishness.
That's like
and
active
you can,
selfishness.
Yeah, you can and you don't.
And it just has to do with, being aware of it, because the other side of that is passive selfishness, which is just like inconsideration. Like you didn't think about how it would affect somebody else. You were just more concerned with what you were doing,
and I think
isn't necessarily. It's just something to be aware of.
And that's what, going off of the passive selfishness idea, I think like 90% of people are passive, like selfish.
Yes.
Because I think everyone has an aspect of both of those, but I think 95% of people are passive selfish.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
know.
just those like small things every day.
It's just like, I'm sure there's people out there like that, but I definitely feel like someone like that where it's I feel like I give out way more than I ever get back, which is like, I've come to terms with that because that's how I am. Like, I try to go like above and beyond for people, but you don't always get that back. And it's not necessarily a selfish thing from them. It's just that I have had
it's an expectation that you have.
And I've eliminated those expectations now.
Yeah.
Like, I've understood, like, you're not going to get that back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you can't expect everybody to be you.
Exactly.
And to have the same priorities that you have.
And it just made me thinking, like, should I be more selfish? Because I think I'm like...
Things that you should be selfish about, I think, are your time.
Yes.
And you should be conscious of, like, being selfish with other people's time. Because, I mean, that's, like, the one, like,
I think,
extremely, like, limited resource that we have.
Well, I'm going off of that. I think people are very selfish with other people's time.
Sure.
Like, I'm calling out all people who are ever, like, late. So maybe even the one next to me. But, like, when someone's late, like, do you not understand? Like, okay, like, people think it's funny. Like, I've been guilty of it. Like, people like, oh, I'm always late. Like,
it's just like, you think it's cute.
You think it's cute and funny. Like, you're literally having people wait, and they're waiting for you to do something. Like, the world doesn't revolve around you.
Right. But the other side of that is, things do come up.
Yes.
That, I mean, Today was a good example.
Oh, well, today was fine.
But today we could have been running late because of. But it's just like that's something that.
No, stuff does come up.
Stuff comes up.
We were technically supposed to do more episodes like July 5th, but I had like a family matter. Like stuff happens. I've actually had like multiple family matters. I had to cancel on someone else.
What things you should be selfish about? Your time, and
who you open up to. I think people.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I think I'm too open with people that I probably shouldn't because they could care less.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure.
I feel like you're like that too.
Yeah.
That's how we met. Like we were like
oversharing.
Yeah, we were oversharing. That's how we met. But
for sure. But I think that, and what I was saying when you texted me about this idea, and I went into the, well, do you think the person was aware that they were, that they were trying to hurt you with whatever?
Which is why it stinks, too, because I don't remember. I texted Sam about this topic because someone was being selfish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sam, we need to talk about this. But it was like 3 weeks ago, and I don't remember now.
I remember what I was doing.
Okay.
And this was, that was the first day of my training, so that was Monday, July, 8th. And you texted me about it at maybe,
It's like my best friend's birthday. Maybe he was being
10 a.m.
selfish. No, it wasn't him.
I don't know. But,
Oh, I think I remember. It was just I'm being very general about this, but, basically, people, it goes off of time. So Sam knows. Sam's
I hate when people waste my time.
Wasted my time. I think it's just disrespectful. I mean, it's a new thing nowadays to ghost people. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a whole thing in and of itself. That's just cowardly. That's just people not being able to put their big boy or big girl pants on and have a confrontation.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be confrontational. It's just saying what you need to say.
Yeah.
And whatever. But
just
people,
tell me to my face or through it. It's not
or
even
through
to
a
my
text.
face. Just through a text.
Just say it.
Yeah.
That's
so
the thing. Are there
this
more...
person was beating around the bush.
Yep.
And I'm just I know what they're doing. They're just ghosting me because they don't want to talk anymore. And then that's why I texted Sam. I'm just being selfish. I guess it was more being cowardly because just tell me I'm not going to be affected by it. That you don't want to talk to me. And then I got into a whole thing because then I went to a gas station or something. And then I texted Sam because I think I held the door for someone.
That was the final straw.
I didn't get a thank you. I'm Sam, people are just selfish.
No, I did the same thing. No, and I was for sure, because I was so mad about something that was going on that day, about something with work. And no, yeah, I was for sure, but there's people that are aware of it, and it's a conscious choice, and whatever, and will you know every time? No. But I mean, obviously it's how you interpret it, and I mean, when you get mad at somebody, it's just obviously it just shows how much
your time, and
but it just shows how much you care about the person.
And that's what I think my problem is too. Is I care too much. I think people who know me know that I'm I care a lot. I'm very open, and I'm a person who's I take care of. Someone called me out at this at work. Shout out, you know who you are. Where I worry about other people before myself, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta be selfish." He literally told me that.
Yeah.
After I told you about the topic,
yeah.
I'm like, "What do you mean?"
And it's what I said to you is it's also instinctual to be selfish because it's self-preservation and
it's healthy to be selfish at that point. That's where the line.
Exactly.
You have to be somewhat selfish.
You have to look out for yourself because you are really who you have at the end of the day.
Yes. And you go home to yourself.
Exactly.
So it's selfishness has a bad
a bad rap.
It has a bad rap, but you really should be. Maybe it's just you got to call the self-preservation, self-love part of selfishness something else.
Yeah.
Should we call it a Sammy?
No.
I'm just really trying to push Sammy.
Stop trying to name things after me. My name is already everywhere.
Do you
in my friend group? There's 4 Sams.
Is there?
Yes.
I could hear her meowing. But
yeah, me too.
Is there? Do you ever get called Sammy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Samantha or Sam.
All of it. I get called all of it by different people.
So
I have many names.
sounds like fraud. So another aspect, I'm throwing in, my cousin commented on our first video. Shout out. Appreciate it. Yeah, all you guys, like, at work and stuff, come up to me and say, like, yo, I watched the podcast. It's really good. I like the topic. Some of you text me. I appreciate that. But comment on the video because it helps us out. We need the comments. And I don't even care if you make...
He understands how the algorithm works.
I understand how the algorithm works on
And,
YouTube. Comments matter. And we got a comment on one video. They told me to change my clothes. Shout out.
We'll
that
take
helps,
it.
yeah.
Give us the hate, too. What did
me and
you
Sam
not
laughing.
like?
Yeah.
Put it on the video for everybody to see.
Exactly. But the comment from my cousin was, this goes into it a little bit. I mean, yeah, probably. What is the best thing you've ever done? Whether it be an accomplishment or something you did for someone or yourself. Mm-hmm. So it could be a selfishness thing. Honestly, I'm not even just saying this. You know what the best thing I ever done, like probably in recent memory, what I've done is do this podcast. Yeah. Like I honestly, I texted Sam on Sunday. I'm like, I can't wait.
You're getting cheesy.
Did you guys hear something? Anyway, the best thing I've ever done for myself is this podcast where I could just be myself, just talk, and I've always wanted to do this. So, and guess what I was? I like tossed it up to you. What was I that I did this podcast? I was selfish.
Why?
Because I was helping myself. I was Sammy.
But, I mean, this was
she's like, I'm so done with you.
We had talked about it, and we had even, I mean, that Breaking Bad thing that you put out that I wrote I mean, that was podcast-ishy.
Yeah, it was just like a media podcast, basically.
Yeah.
That helped me get a job. That helped me get a media job. Because I used it, because we had to, like, submit, like, because I was a video editor. Yeah. So I submitted that, and they watched it.
That was
so much fun.
That was talking about Breaking Bad, which
and we weren't
if
even
you know me, you know I can talk about that for
hell yeah. But like, I'm not even being cheesy, but I was like, honestly, because I was talking to my friend yesterday, and she goes, until like the last like year or so, I don't think I've ever like been fully confident with myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Like, I haven't really had... I would say that the most confident I've ever been in my life is these past, like, 2 months. Because of, I don't know, my stage in life. And then with this podcast, with work. Fully just, like, I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, when I want to write, I write. Me and my cousin also have, like, a YouTube page that... if you guys are coming from that... over here, shout out. I posted our podcast link on that channel, so appreciate it. But I just love media.
Yeah, same.
So I'm just diving full on in media.
It's been so much fun, getting to do media and
right.
And I will say that it's been humbling because the amount of people that have told me that they've listened.
Right.
Is crazy because
we did this.
I never thought that people would listen.
I know.
Mean, I just feel like I've got like crazy ramblings, and everyone's like, just stop talking for 2 seconds.
No, that's why we became friends, because I was like,
for sure.
Maybe she would kind of crazy ramble, and then like if you kind of looked around, I was the only one. I was like smiling, listening, like no one else is listening to Sam ramble. But
that's my life. Oh.
But yeah, like
just talking.
Yeah, there has been a lot of people at work, friends and family.
Yeah, like and the people that have been like, oh yeah, like send it to me, and it's just right? Like, wow.
Because we did this honestly, because like to
boredom.
Catch up, and we were bored, and
I mean,
it's therapeutic.
It's just that it's being on the track that you want to be on. Obviously, if we want to be involved in media, we need to be involved in media.
Yeah. So the best thing for you?
The best thing, I mean, that I've done for myself
Yeah.
was probably make the decision to transfer around schools and find the one that I wanted to be at. Because that's what I did. I shopped around for a college while I was in college.
Yeah. And the change you made, too, from literally LSU to Northern, that was probably... We've talked about it on the podcast.
From LSU to Rock Valley, which was like basically going back to high school, is what I would equate it to. And then NIU, which was just...
Where she met this lad.
Oh, yeah.
This is BS.
This is BS. But it's fun.
No, and that made me realize, too, because I always thought I was going to go to, like, a huge school, like, whether it be, like, Alabama or, like... or, like, a Big Ten school or something, you know?
Yeah.
But, like how I threw that
in for LSU.
But yeah, I always saw myself, but then it made me realize like it's not really like the school, but it was like the people.
It's the people. That was exactly where I got to.
From Samantha to there's like 3 or 4.
But we met your senior year, so we were only there.
I know, that's what sucks.
And it was like a semester. I feel
we were like, like it was like a semester.
Yeah.
Right? Was it?
Yeah. No, I don't think it was the full year. It might have been like the tail end of first semester.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's no way. Me and Sam were like best friends, and it was like, wasn't it only like 2 months? You might be right.
Yeah, it really was. And because I remember having this conversation with you in the student center. We were by the piano. And, like, we were studying for some whatever. Well, you were trying to study, and I was just yeah. And I was like, we'll be fine, whatever. Because,
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about life.
But, yeah.
We were doing podcasts before this.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's basically what it just came down to. Is I'm like, I feel like every conversation that we have is just, like, golden material. And we need to do something. But...
I remember that.
I never thought other people would want to hear it. So, that's nice. But this all would not have happened if I didn't leave LSU. Because I definitely could have stayed. I had signed a lease for the following year. And it was
How'd you get out of it?
It was going to be a beautiful apartment.
How did you get out of it? Or did you just pay it?
I put it on, oh my God, do you remember? I didn't put it on Yik Yak. Do you remember Yik Yak?
Yeah.
The app?
You put it on there?
No, I just said I did not, but it made me think about that. I put it on, like... Or no, I think I had a friend who was in a sorority advertise it in their, like, sorority group message.
And someone took
it. And, somebody picked it up, and they took my lease, and I just got to go. But I for sure could have. Because it's not like I didn't meet good people, but also it's, like, it's crazy to think about who I would be if I had stayed. And, like, what I would be doing, because I changed my major so many times.
Yeah.
Because when I left LSU, I was a kinesiology major.
Really?
Yeah.
At one point, I was going to do that.
Yeah.
It's weird, because you think about that, and it's really where you pick to go to school, where you pick to work, where you pick to live. Like, every single decision, I know this is pretty obvious, but every single decision affects your life so much. Like, we're like, oh, like, you try to, like, say that a decision won't impact it. Like, people try to downplay it, but you shouldn't downplay it.
It's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, everything you do leads to something else.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, like, and this just gets into, like, the force that keeps everything going at all times. And it's like we generate that as well as we are affected by it. So
I've never heard that, but selfishness. You gotta be selfish. I'm just yelling it because I have to be myself. But
would that be selfish, or would that be...
No, that's why
there's negative connotation.
It's the negative connotation is that...
So what's the positive connotation word for selfishness?
Self-love.
Okay, phrase.
Yeah, it's a phrase, though. You gotta...
Self-love, self-care. But I think that also gets misconstrued with selfishness.
Yeah, people will use it.
Oh, self-care. Like, no, you are being detrimental to yourself and everyone around you. Like,
you keep
self-care
saying self-love.
is staying
No,
in. Yeah,
you're ditching us and doing drugs. No.
You're
You
passing
know who you
out,
are.
blacking out every night. No, for sure. That is not. People... Learning what that is very personal. I mean, you have to know yourself to know what, like, your own self-love and self-care is. But I can tell you that it is not abusing a substance. And, I mean, it's something that I completely understand. I mean, we've talked about this. Like, I know that I have, an
addictive personality.
And, I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that. I mean,
I think
really
so
serious
many.
thing, and it's a slippery slope, but... You just have to. It's being responsible for yourself.
Yeah, me and my cousin were just talking about this. Have you listened to MGK's new album?
No, but you posted that song, and I was like, I have to go listen to this.
It's called.
And now I listen to it all the time.
I think
I
I'm
love
okay.
It. Yeah.
I think I'm okay is honestly like, he's talking about addiction and his mind, and him and Youngblood and Barker. Me and my cousin like love this song because the message of it. Where it's, the title says it, I think I'm okay. Because you're just like battling with stuff and you really don't know.
It's kind of like you're teeter-tottering, and like obviously it is your own decision if you're okay and if you're not, and it's based on how you keep continuing to make those decisions. But I mean, obviously him expressing how he feels, like, I mean, he knows, but he also knows that he can make that decision to be okay.
It's good that
he's identifying the problem.
But
This is part of the healing process. And you were like, oh, he really needs to get some help. Like, this is how he's getting help, by putting his music out there. And
that's what people were saying to me, but I didn't mean it like, yo, this. But like people people need to be aware that like maybe he's just such a good writer that he's able to bring back a mindset he was in like 7 months ago, and he's not in that mindset anymore. Yeah. But it was just me like being like about like mental illness awareness.
For sure. And
where
I mean,
it's like,
if you think about all
that's like what Mac Miller was saying, and no one did anything.
Exactly. I was just about to say, you think about all the people that they're artists like that, and they put these things out there, and it's just like, this was a cry for help. But I mean, it comes down to fatal flaws, which I mean, do people take the actual steps they need to get help? It's just identifying how much help you need. And that could be therapy, that could be rehab, self-love. That could be surrounding yourself with different people. Yeah. But obviously all of that takes work, and it goes down to, do you have
self-awareness?
Do you want to do it, and do you have the energy still to...
I think the thing with like musicians, and what you just said was beautifully put, by the way.
Wow, thank you.
Don't let it get to your head. With musicians specifically, is that, think about when you do stuff sometimes, whether you post on social media, text someone, call someone, it's kind of like, I don't know if this is a good phrase for it, but it's like a cry for help almost. Like, you're doing something...
It's attention.
Yeah, you're doing something for attention or whatnot, right?
Cry for help is...
I know it's like a bad like phrase for it, but like...
Attention is more broad.
So like when an artist puts out something so personal to them, and it's something like that, like I see it like, it's, I guess it is a cry for help, but then like people love the music and stuff, but does someone actually like talk to that person? Like, I bet you so many artists are in therapy. You know what I mean?
Everybody should be.
Everyone should be.
Like, think about all the shows that are so widely loved, and they show people in therapy. And it's
Sopranos
just like,
is like the greatest show ever, and he's in therapy.
Exactly, the whole time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think about like the therapy episode of Rick and Morty. Like, it's just, and then Good Will Hunting. I mean, it's just therapy.
It's frowned upon.
Transformational.
Yeah. It's frowned upon, and it shouldn't be.
The stigma is just insane, and I mean, there's still even the stigma in the industry of psychology.
It's just a bad like.
And then there's like beef between certain schools of psychologists and psychiatrists versus like, you know, cognitive therapy and biological therapy, which is prescribing medication. Yeah. So it's just, you know.
humans are just like naturally like ready to like My team versus your team.
Gang theory, okay? I'm trying to think what the Stanford prison experiment,
Yeah.
that was that. And then they did the thing with the kids where, they were, in a camp or something, and they told them that,
I think I know
this
what
is
you're
your
talking about.
rival camp.
Have you watched the movie for the Stanford prison experiment?
I haven't. It's been in my watch list.
Like,
I learned about it.
That's
so
what I mean. Is that's why it wasn't the same, but it was nice to that they put it into a film.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved it if we watched it in school.
Yeah.
Movies like that, put that in school.
But that team versus team, or would you say it's gang?
Gang theory, yeah.
Gang theory,
and
yeah.
I mean, we still do it.
Yeah, that's what me and my cousin were just talking about, because he's in the Army, and then they have a big beef with the Navy or Air Force or something. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys are literally doing this. You guys
LSU
protect
and
us.
Alabama.
LSU
I was scrap.
Yeah, she's like, I like messing with her.
But it affects my physical health. I swear.
She does. I'm telling you guys. I'm trying to get her to throw up on one of these podcasts, because that would be the best gift we could make.
It's I'm conditioned, because I think about watching the games. Truly, okay? Understanding psychology is just a superpower, because it's just understanding why you do the things that you do, being able
Which
to...
is also, it's a superpower.
But I know why I get...
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's too
Continue.
much
Sorry, I didn't
sometimes.
mean to uproot it.
No, but I think about watching the games and how seeing the team, I mean, it affects my physical health, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me sad. It makes me nauseous. And so when I hear, and that's where it goes to, and it's a testament to how impressive the football program is at Bama. Don't get me started on Nick Saban, because that's a whole other thing.
He brought you guys a championship.
The way that don't get me started on it. That's a whole other...
Tua.
It fuels me with anger.
I like Tua, though. I'm not really that big of a Bama fan. I like messing with Sam. I like the story of the Tua thing, when he came into second half as a freshman and won the national title 2 years ago.
At Bama?
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is.
Oh, you probably didn't even watch the national championship that year. They played Clemson, I believe.
Oh yeah, I
remember
did
he was
watch
he was a freshman backup.
But I don't follow the happenings of that team.
No, I understand that, but
yeah, I mean,
I know what you mean. I can't if
we haven't beat Bama in a long time.
If you bring up the Packers around me, I'll get pissed.
Everybody understands it, and everybody's got their own sides.
I understand Rodgers is great, but I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but I definitely have a problem with certain players on teams. I think that the way that the Alabama team conducts themselves sometimes.
How about the LSU locker room? Did you see that new locker room?
Of course I saw it. It's gorgeous. And I remember touring the football operations facility when I was at LSU. And, I mean, that was surreal in and of itself. I walked past Les Miles' office, and I was like...
Which he's at Kansas now, which is so weird.
Oh, my God. He was the Mad Hatter. I loved him.
Yeah.
He kept the game interesting. But, no, I mean, I love Coach O. I think he's a great guy. But, no, the new... I mean, it's gorgeous.
It's absurd. This thing is absurd.
It also brings out that it's this is where the money's going. I think when I was there, everybody was worried about their TOPS program, which is if you're in the state of Louisiana and you score high enough on your tests, it's tuition free. You just have to pay for housing, and it's
Oh, really?
When I was leaving, there was a lot of drama about money distribution and everything, and obviously the football program brings in
the money,
so much, all the revenue of the school.
Yeah.
So, but
that's a whole nother topic.
I would love to tour it again.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Sam's planning her next trip, coming back from a trip. That's how it is, though. I'm the same way. Okay. Secondly, this is true selfishness. What is the worst thing you've done to yourself or someone? Trying to think. I mean, so let me get into this. This is probably a perfect example of self-love and selfishness.
Okay.
When this was in like freshman year of college, is when you break up with someone because you just lost feelings. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I would also argue like that's not like a selfish thing. It's more. I feel like it would be more selfish to just keep the person along for the ride when you know.
That's what I mean though, is like that's why it's self-love. And because what was the point of me staying in that relationship if I just like strung it along?
Yeah, but I mean, I would argue that that's not even a bad thing. Like,
Yeah, that's me again being like, that's me being like, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
I still feel bad to this day, but I just saw, if you ever watch this, because I know you blocked me on all social media after the breakup or whatever, I just saw you got engaged, and I would like to let you know, I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that you found a guy that can make you, I'm sure I made you happy, but I'm happy that you found someone, and that, I couldn't be that guy for you. And I noticed that. That's why I had to do what I had to do, is you were putting in way more than I was and that I could. And I'm happy that you're happy.
That was really nice.
Yeah. And I mean it. Because I still she'll always be like a part of me.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's how it goes.
Right? You'll always be a part of me. Like, I hated that I saw you cry, and like I know how much pain I put you in. I'm literally going through it right now, but that's why I think I can understand my situation.
That's life.
Yeah, that's life. You live and you learn. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy for you. I wish nothing but the best, and I always have. Sam's like, how do I top that?
I'm just really like, and this isn't where I'm like, I can't think of a single thing I've done wrong. This is like, I know when I've done things.
Yeah.
That are
if you don't want to share, or like you can't think of anything.
No, it's not even that. It's just like which kind of aspect. I mean, I just think about, this is something that I did when I was in middle school. And this was with a friend, and I just kind of fell into, I was friends with one group of people, and I wanted to, spend more time with that group of people. And I had another friend that, like, we were good friends, but I was just getting aggravated, and it was just like too much. And I love her to death, and this was horrible, but I mean, I just kind of not even ghosted, but I was just like, I don't necessarily like want to be friends.
That's kind of similar then. It's like, see, we're the same. See,
but I know that it's just like, you can do both. And that's like, we became friends again, like, years later. She's one of my best friends in the whole, she's gonna know, obviously, like,
yeah.
And, but I mean, I've apologized up and down I was like, you honestly should have slapped me in the face, like, just, and it's just that those are things that you have to learn from. And
so we're saying something similar, though. It's like we feel bad about it, but it's like...
Yeah, but that was shitty of me. Because that wasn't... Like, that's a bigger thing, like, a relationship thing. Yeah, and, like, her, like, wanting to, like, this was a friend. Mm-hmm. A good friend. And I ended up, like, that group of friends that I kind of ditched her to hang out with more. I love them still to this day. Like, we chat every now and again, but at some point in high school, I started hanging out with this girl and her group of friends, like, completely.
Yeah.
And they are my best friends in the entire world, and I could not make it through the day without them.
Yeah.
So, could I have spent more time with,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it just comes down to, And do I regret choosing to spend more time with these people? Absolutely not. They were fantastic people. And actually, I have to get lunch with one of them. I mean, it's just different kinds of people, you know?
Uh-huh. And it's kind of like, I have that too, where it's, you notice like at times, I mean, that's just life though, where like you lose touch with a friend and then like all of a sudden you're like best friends. Yeah, it's just a circle of life.
No, and it's like, it's literally like a spiral. Like it just like.
We're going to end on that note. You have any shout outs, Sam? You want to shout out anyone?
No.
Shout out everyone at work, because I talked to you guys all about this stuff.
They prep you.
Yeah, and you guys are very supportive. You guys are great. We'll be back. Episode 5?
Yep.